The Lion's Whiskers by Allie McKessick, illustrated by Micah Archer. And this is a folk tale.
Chapter 1. A Rocky Start. There was once a woman named Allie Tash. She lived in the highlands of Ethiopia. Allie Tash was a kind, clever, and hard-working woman. She loved children and longed for a family of her own. One day, Tesfa, who was a merchant in Allie Tash's hometown, asked her to marry him. Allie Tash said yes. She was very happy to marry Tesfa. Tesfa had a son named DeWitt from his first marriage, so Allie Tash gained a son as well as a husband. This pleased her, but DeWitt was not happy at all. His mother was dead, and he missed her. He did not want Allie Tash to take his mother's place. DeWitt cried himself to sleep at night, and refused to be comforted by Allie Tash. Allie Tash wanted to be a good mother to DeWitt. She cooked his favorite meals. She made him new clothes from the finest cotton cloth. She brought him special treats and bought him new shoes. No matter what Allie Tash did, DeWitt turned his back on her and cried for his own mother. Allie Tash wanted DeWitt to be happy. She also wanted him to love her. She understood his deep sadness and knew that only love could heal his heart. Because Tesfa was a merchant, he often traveled with his caravan of mules. While he was gone, Allie Tash could see that DeWitt missed his father as well as his own mother. In spite of his loneliness, DeWitt did not turn to Allie Tash for comfort. She began to think that the boy would never grow to love her at all. Sad and worried, Allie Tash went to see a wise woman who was a leader in the village. She poured out her story to the wise woman and asked for her guidance. "Perhaps you could make a special potion that would make my stepson love me," Allie Tash suggested. The woman sat in silence for a long time. She stared into the fire, then lifted her head to meet Allie Tash's hopeful gaze. "I can prepare a potion as you have asked," she said, "but it is a very difficult task. To make a love potion, you must first bring me something very special." "Anything. I will bring you anything you need," said Allie Tash, assuring the woman of her determination. "I will bring you whatever you need, because I love my stepson very much. I long for him to love me back." "Very well then," replied the wise woman. "You must go into the desert and bring back 3 whiskers from a lion. The lion must be alive, and you must do this on your own." Allie Tash gasped. She knew how dangerous this was. She knew she could be killed. With a heavy heart, she left the wise woman's hut. Chapter 2. A Cautious Plan. That night, Allie Tash couldn't sleep. She paced the floor trying to decide what to do. She wanted DeWitt to love her, but getting 3 whiskers from a lion seemed impossible. She tried to think of a plan, but her thoughts just chased each other around in circles. Should she build a trap? Should she try to trick the lion in some way? Could she give him something to make him sleep? She didn't know what to do. How could she get close enough to the lion to remove 3 whiskers? And the wise woman said that she must do it on her own. However, Allie Tash was both clever and determined. As the sun began to rise, a plan was emerging in her head. She decided to put the plan into action that very day. Later that morning, Allie Tash wrapped a piece of meat in a cloth and carried it far into the desert. She headed for a place called Lion Canyon, where she knew there were lions. As she approached the place, she saw a lion sprawled on top of a rock. He was huge, and he was watching her. Her legs were unwilling, but her determination was strong. She continued walking forward. She did not take her eyes off the lion, and the lion did not take his eyes off her. When she was still some distance away, The lion rose to his feet, threw back his head, and roared. Ali Tash dropped the meat and ran. The sound echoed around the rocky walls of the canyon and followed Ali Tash as she fled. She had no idea if the lion was in pursuit, but she didn't look back. She didn't stop running until she was home again. The next day, Ali Tash ventured into the desert again. She was carrying another piece of meat. The lion was sprawled out on the same rock he had been on the previous day. This time, Ali Tash got a few steps closer before he stood up and roared. She flung the meat onto the ground and fled. But this time, she glanced back over her shoulder as she left the canyon. The lion had jumped down from his rocky outcrop. He was beginning to eat the piece of meat. Over the following months, Ali Tash walked into the desert every day. Every day, she took meat for the lion. And every day, she drew closer and closer to him before he roared. Eventually, she didn't run away when she dropped the meat. Instead, she retreated more slowly and watched the lion while he ate. Each time, she stood a little bit closer to where the lion ate. Soon, the lion began to accept her presence. At last, the day came when the lion let her stand beside him while he was eating. Ali Tash knew it was time to see if her plan would bring the outcome that she hoped for. The next day, Ali Tash hid a small, sharp knife in a pocket in her dress before she went to Lion Canyon. Her heart was pounding as the lion approached her. When he dropped his head to eat the meat, Ali Tash made her move. Her knife sliced through the whiskers at the side of the lion's face. The lion jerked his head up, and the whiskers fell to the ground. He snarled at Ali Tash. His powerful jaws were only an arm's length away from her. She leaped back, fearing that this was the end. But the lion snarled again, snatched up the meat, and carried it to his rock to finish eating. Ali Tash bent down and picked up the whiskers from the dust. "Thank you, mighty lion," she whispered. "Now, DeWitt will finally love me." Chapter 3. Words from the Wise. Ali Tash was full of excitement as she cooked the evening meal for her family that night. When she handed a bowl to DeWitt, she smiled at him, and she thought she detected a tiny smile in return. What strong powers these lion whiskers have, she thought. It seems they are working even before the potion has been made. Early the next morning, Ali Tash went to see the wise woman. When she pulled the 3 lion's whiskers from her pocket, the woman looked amazed. She stared at the whiskers for a long time. Suddenly, she snatched the whiskers and threw them in the fire. "Why did you do that?" cried Ali Tash. "I did what you told me to do. I brought you the whiskers of a living lion, and I did it all on my own." The wise woman put a hand on Ali Tash's arm. "You are a brave and clever woman," she said. "You do not need a potion. By bringing me the lion's whiskers, you have shown me that you already have what you need to gain your stepson's love." "But how can that be?" Ali Tash asked. "You do not need a potion to win your stepson's love," said the wise woman. "You will win his love with what is inside you. Tell me, what was the first thing you did to try to get these whiskers?" "First, I thought of a plan to get the lion to let me near him," answered Ali Tash. "And how did you approach the lion?" the wise woman asked. "Slowly, with patience and respect," was Ali Tash's reply. "Now tell me why you think your plan succeeded," the wise woman said. "Because I followed my plan step by step, and I stayed focused on my goal." "And what was it that drove you?" asked the wise woman. "It was my love for DeWitt," replied Ali Tash, "and my wish for him to love me back." "You see," said the wise woman, You already know in your heart what you must do to win the boy's love. Approach him the same way as you did the lion, with patience and respect. Take things slowly, go step by step, and stay focused on your goal. In time, just like the lion, the boy will learn to trust you. Love will come if you are patient. So Ali Tash left the wise woman's hut without a potion, but with gratitude and a new understanding. She kept the wise woman's words in mind, and little by little, her relationship with DeWitt grew warmer and closer. One day DeWitt asked Ali Tash to make him some clothes for an important festival. She smiled to herself and thought of the day when she had finally stood within reach of the lion's whiskers. And she knew that one day, DeWitt would love her as much as she already loved him.